I am going to try to get back in the swing of things with doing these tedious updates on a more regular basis. So here's the exciting piece today. I'm going to Pete's Fish and Chips for lunch. Now, you may recall Pete's Fish and Chips, but cheap, and that's part of the reason. But also because it is 86 degrees outside today. Now that's 30 degrees for you Fahrenheit challenged people, which is a frankly comfortable temperature to me. And I wouldn't want to be out in the direct sunlight, but in the shade that'll be wonderful. And that is substantially cooler than it's been, say, last week. We've had, yesterday was freakishly cool. Didn't reach 100 Fahrenheit. And it's not going to reach it again today. But within 5 days, it's going to be 117 Fahrenheit, which is about 47 degrees Celsius. So imagine that. Today, 30. In a few days, 47. It's a big swing. And there is no reason for it to be cool right now. So this is a freak cool spell. This is my last window to go out and eat at a place that only has outdoor seating. And that's why I'm going to Pete's Fish and Chips. So I've been, I'm not going to ramble on too much. We'll talk more about it. But James has been doing Swift Playgrounds on the iPad, which is a programming teaching thing for Swift, which is the preferred language of developing iOS and Mac apps. And they've built this sort of trainer system, and he's going through it. And I was hoping he'd have more of an aptitude for it than he does. There's always that, gosh, you play chess, you're good at chess, you ought to be good at programming, but then I suck at chess. So actually, I just don't like chess. Maybe I could be good at chess. I just don't care enough to, it doesn't hold my interest long enough for me to care. So I've never bothered to try. But he really enjoys it. He enjoys planning ahead and stuff, so I would have thought that he would really like it. Come on, early days. I'm not busting on his programming. Whenever he writes a programming, I see a million things I'd want to change in it. Part of it is because they haven't introduced, I mean, they were chapters in before they introduced the if statement or a loop or something. So, you know, they're progressively building. And anyway, I think he took the chapter on algorithms today, and he says he passed it, but it was hard. I'll have more thoughts on Swift. In the future, but I'm almost at the Fish and Chips place, and I don't need to talk to you about programming when there's fish to be had. Good fish, deep fried fish, battered deep fried fish. The only way fish is edible, and with all the fishy flavor removed. It's very important. Here's a thing we haven't done in a while. We've come to the park for a Pokemon hunt. It's getting to the point where you can't do anything during the day, so nighttime is a good time to come out and enjoy the park and experience the Jigglypuff nest. Of course, a year ago, Chuan expressed that she wanted me to get her some wireless headphones so that she could come Pokemon hunting and listen to music while James played with her phone. And so I got her some wireless headphones, and she forgot them. Of course, James has his own phone, so he doesn't need to play with hers anymore. So anyway, we're at Arby's, and they've got their limited time only. The can you see that? Pizza slider. Just looks like pepperoni, salami, and pizza sauce with mozzarella cheese on a bun. Honestly, it doesn't look good, but I just thought, I'm going to try it so I can put this on video. Small. Tiny bit. Alright, here goes. we'll see how hungry I am as to whether I come back to that. So I'm a bit late getting into work this morning, in the physical sense anyway. I've been online for a while now, carrying on some work. Sorry, I got some shifting some stuff around here in my arms. That's making the camera jump. I've been working on some changes for the network at work. Reconfiguring some VLANs. I personally don't do that. We do it through another organization. They put them in place at 9:30 last night. I was checking them out and they seemed slightly wrong, not quite right. Things were working. So, stupid thing just cut me off in mid-sentence. What I was saying is we don't do that. Another organization does the VLAN changes and things like that. And they completed them last night about 9:30, and I was checking things out, and some things were working and some things weren't working, but the things that weren't working were working in a very strange way. Like they weren't allowing me to remote into a desktop that was obviously working. So, you know, I don't know what it is, but I was in other servers and they were working, but then it occurred to me I hadn't checked one. So this morning I got up real early and I'm like, ooh, I better check that before people get in. And it was it didn't work, and then I went back to ones that were working last night and they didn't work, and they're all rejecting the remote connection, and that worries me. So we are off to deal with what promises to be not a good Friday.
More than that. There you go.
It's hot. I mean, hot as in temperature hot. It's not the spicy, it's the flavor. No. This will be how I would describe what plastic tastes like. Plastic?
Sunday morning. It's Father's Day. I'm at the office. Swung by here briefly yesterday to see if I could get some stuff done that needs to be done on the weekend. And I had the family with me. We were out for lunch and we just swung by here. I couldn't get it done in a reasonable length of time, so I'm back. VLANs. Oh, I hate VLANs. I mean, what an amazing idea until you actually have to like work with them, and DMZs and virtual machines at the same time, and so anyway, it's just being a royal pain. And unfortunately, to make some of the changes, I have to take the server and I have to reboot the server, and in particular our mail server takes forever to boot. So in between boots, yeah, I'm stuck here talking with you. Next week is camp. Knock on wood, no one has driven a car through my house this year, so all things going, I should be going to camp. But that does mean that this is the last opportunity I have on a weekend to get this stuff done. I basically have to move a web server into a DMZ. That one's not too hard. I've got to move a mail server into a DMZ. Well, not a mail server. That's not quite. Well, it is a mail server. Now I'm waffling. Never mind. It's a spam catcher. It's the spam appliance, mail appliance relay. It's not where our actual mail is. We're pushing that out. Just stuff that should have been done, but variety of reasons was not practical to do. Now it's practical to do, and of course it has to be done right away. So, always fun. Always fun. Yesterday, Michelle's birthday. Really funny story. We took her out to her favorite restaurant. Her favorite restaurant, Western food here, whatever. And we're having a conversation about something, and we were done. We were done eating. You know, plates were still on the table, but we were basically done eating. And I made a comment, and it wasn't a particularly hilarious comment. It wasn't a particularly smart alecky comment. It was a quip, and it just caught Michelle as unexpectedly funny, and it also caught her at the moment she was having a big swig of strawberry lemonade. Now, luckily, she was sitting next to me. James, however, was sitting across from her, and he took a good chunk, a fair chunk of it took the table, as she did a massive spit take across. But, you know, some of it was on James. It was, well, it might not sound funny, but it was hilariously funny. We've been trying to go to Wonder Woman this weekend, and you know, there's nowadays there's theater options, and at my age, I will not go if we do not get reserved seating and recliner seats. So that limits it to a few theaters in town, and they're full, or they're so full that we really can't sit together as a family, with one exception. There's tons of seats available for the real 3D showings of the movie. And I think that's very telling. I hate 3D movies. They give me a headache. You have to keep your head this way. You know, it's a 3D movies was a stupid, dumbass fad in the 1950s. And when they tried it again in, the 70s, it was a stupid, dumbass trend, and they've been trying really, really hard now, and it's a stupid, dumbass trend. And the only reason that they keep forcing this crap on us is because TVs are getting bigger, the movie experience isn't as unique, and they need to keep differentiating themselves from television. And as televisions get bigger and people's home entertainment systems get better, the theater experience isn't nearly as interesting to them. And so this is what they push. Now, of course, as you may recall, for a few years they were pushing the hell out of 3D TVs too, because of course the TV market is trying to keep up with the movie theater market, and those fizzled out. Thank you. But it hasn't gone in the theaters yet. And just looking at the seating charts yesterday when I was trying to pick a seat just proves what an incredibly stupid idea this is. And yet, they keep pushing it. They keep pushing it. I don't know. It's ridiculous. Well, we've just pulled up at some friends' house who are probably going to look after the dogs while we're at camp. And just as we pulled in, somebody we've been trying to get to call us for literally months called. And so we're sitting here waiting for Joanne to finish that phone call and then take the dogs in. So, and you can hear they're just raring to go. But they got to go in and test to see whether they play well with another dog. Okay, well, today is Friday. You can't see my face. Hi! That's because I'm just showing you this, the very first time that my son has ridden in the front of the car.
Second.
It was the first time he actually rode in the front of the car. The other time he got in the front of the car, the air conditioner made a bit of a smell and he decided to go in the back. So here he is, riding in the car, sneezing on his arm, all that stuff. Tomorrow's camp. I think that means this is the end of this vlog.
Hello, I'll just talk to you through this here.
And we're just going up to have some breakfast, and we got to pick up some paper because we got to print out a ton of forms, and then you know, finish the file folders for the campers because we're completely offline. We can't access any electronic thingies from up there, so we have to have it all printed out and actually in old style folders, and so they can write on them and stuff. It's very old-fashioned, but that's part of its rustic charm. All right, well, in the meantime, remember to like, comment, and the other thing, subscribe. And we'll talk to you when we come back out of camp.